Hi guys, it's NG10 Reports. I'm here in Stanton by Dale today, making a quick video on the solar farm. And on my walk to the field where the solar farm will be, I spotted a sign on someone's gate. Please help us save these green fields from development to solar farms. The application is in and now is the time to have your say. And then some information there. I'm sure you can see it on the screen. We'll just get down here. So this is the scope of where the solar farm is going to be. Shows you it runs all the way from Hermit's Wood to pretty much through where we're stood now. So that's that little bit of information. I'll show you more as we get closer, guys, and I'll get deeper into the story. I've got some bits written down, so I'll be able to tell you exactly what's planned on going on here. So as we get further on, I'll bring you back. But I just wanted to showcase that this is somebody who lives very close to where the solar farm will be, and they obviously aren't happy with it ongoing. So this is the voice of the most local people to this solar farm. Still heading up to the field where it's proposed now, guys, but yet another sign showing that the people that are going to be affected most by this are not happy with it at all. So don't think this is a video against solar energy. We'll be getting to that in a minute later on in the video. But yeah, just another one to show the discontent of the locals. Right guys, so we are now at a gate to the proposed Stanton solar farm. It is an area covering 121 acres. Obviously I'm only showing a tiny portion of that here. There are public footpaths that run through the site a bit further down that are apparently to be maintained. So a few facts about this proposed site is it's going to be approximately 121 acres and house 75,000 solar panels. It's in very close proximity to Hermit's Cave, which is a site of historical interest. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's beautiful, and the views from there are beautiful as well. I'm not sure if you'd be able to see here from Hermit's Cave because there are a bit of woodlands in the way. But yeah, this is going to be a very big blight on a very pretty site. Let's just bring you back into normal zoom mode now, so you can see the expanse. It runs an awful long way down there to be covering 121 acres. This will be fenced off. Apparently the hedges will be allowed to grow to minimise the the visibility from the road. But I'm sure hedgerows that currently section up this field will probably be removed. Ditches between the fields will presumably not be maintained, and that could be a flood risk. These things have been brought to my attention by Reform councillors Jodie Brown and Simon Mabbott. They've both spoken against it online, so you can look them up on Facebook and see what they've had to say about it there. But just a quick sum up of what they've had to say is it's basically a massive loss of food production in the area. Obviously, they are grazing cattle on this field. The field just over the way has definitely been ploughed and planted or cultivated, so it is in use for something, perhaps winter wheat or barley. So loss of food production and loss of green belt, because the entire site is going to be built on green belt. It will be a big loss of, so if all 121 acres were put into wheat production, which it currently isn't, but just if it was 10 acres, so just 10 acres, less than a tenth of this site, comes at a cost of 48,000 loaves of bread. I'll say that number again, 48,000 loaves of bread. That is a hell of a lot of wheat. A cost for over a year, if the entire site was wheat and not farming solar, that would be 500,000 loaves in a year lost to this site. Obviously, it isn't just used for wheat, it is used for other mixed use agricultural use at the moment. There's obviously cows grazing in this field there. but there are, you know, trees and things in fields that will presumably have to be removed unless they'd cast shade on these solar panels. As for what the solar panels will provide for the local area, 20 megawatts to the local distribution network of solar energy could be provided by this site. And that sounds like an awful lot until you see that that would only go to power 6,305 homes. It would save 4,076 tonnes of carbon annually than producing electricity as we currently do. But that will not be enough to offset the cost of importing food. Just because the food will then be grown abroad, so the carbon will be offset for our nation, the food will still be bought in. That carbon for growing the food will still be produced somewhere else in the world, and then we add food miles on top of that to get cheap produce flown in from abroad, so the government doesn't have to give our country's farmers as much money in grants to keep food on our tables. They'd rather do it with things like we've seen in previous videos, where they'd have farmers plant flowers for bees and birds, which is great to benefit the wildlife, but not so great to benefit the British farmer and the British families hoping to eat British grown produce. So as I mentioned before, guys, the entire site is on a green belt area. There is lots of other areas in the not green belt bits in the area. Apparently around 3/4 of Erewash is green belt, so we are privileged to have that much. But there are other solutions. So as I said before, we're not against solar energy necessarily, but solar energy on this scale in such a pretty part of the world that deserves to be protected, there are other options. And after all of that, where it's not actually being all that effective, not producing energy for that many homes, it only has a design life of 40 years. So this, whose future is that for? 40 years from now does not sound very far-sighted to me. That's around the age of the concrete that's all now failing in schools. So will these solar farms just be left to ruin, or will they need constant investment from the taxpayer to bring this up to speed and keep up with the pace of modern technology? Also, the site will need underground cables to run. So when it comes to restoring the farmland to farmland in 40 years, if that ever does happen, if the government ever allows that to happen, then yes, shall we have a quick look at what the cows are up to? I'm sure you're bored of just hearing me ramble. So if the government allows this to come back to farming, there will be underground cable networks to contend with. The solar panels will change the soil, because the life within soil needs sunlight to live. It's not just the plants that grow in the soil, it's the microbes, it's what actually fuels the plant needs sunlight to live. And if all of these solar panels are blocking out sunlight from the soil will slowly start to lose its nutritional value, and over a span of 40 years, with effects from the differences in soil erosion and so on, it will make this very difficult indeed to return to farmland. Onto the construction of the project. It will take, according to the planning application, 24 months to construct, which that is 2 years. 2 years of heavy machinery, 2 years of workers coming in and out, adding to traffic in a very small village with very tight and narrow lanes. 24 months of construction noise, disrupting habitat, 24 months of just general upset to the area, on top of the 40 years of the ugly solar panels that are needed. I wonder if this is why Keir Starmer is so happy to cozy up to China. Has he signed a mega solar panel deal with them that he cannot let fall through. On top of that, after the solar panels have been installed, security lights and CCTV and security fencing will all have to be in place to protect the security, the solar panels, from things like cable thieves, because lots of juicy cable out in the middle of nowhere will be a large attraction for people like that. So of course we'll be funding that as the taxpayer as well. As far as Erewash Borough Council goes, they've requested an environmental statement with the planning application, so that will be under review. But my thoughts on the matter are, what's wrong with government buildings? If the government is so keen on solar panels, if the government is so keen on green energy, why are not every school covered in solar panels on the roofs? I'm not saying take away, play areas for children for solar panels, and but doctors' offices and hospitals, council buildings, put covers over car parks in the area that have solar panels on them to to collect the solar energy, instead of changing arable farmland which has been used to grow crops and pasture animals for many years, long before solar technology existed. Change the beautiful countryside that we are so lucky to have around us. When there's hospitals, council buildings, etc., that do not have solar panels on them currently, why, when the government can say no more gas boilers in new build homes past a certain date, why not make it a requirement that all new build houses have at least a third of the roof as solar panels? So having basically micro solar farms all up and down the country, that's what I think would be a better solution than destroying our green belt, destroying nature, disrupting the countryside and the people that live in it. So if you do not agree with this solar site, we've obviously already seen the signs earlier on in the video from the locals, and when I say local, I mean some of those signs we were filming are on gates over there. So yeah, if you want to support the locals, I'm going to drop the links in the description of where you can how you can do that, so you can speak out against this. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Am I wrong? Is a solar panel farm a brilliant idea for Stanton? It's going to bring 2 years of work in the construction industry to build this, but then also with that comes the traffic and security risks to the area, as we've said before, about like cable cutting, cable pulling, some people just generally making nuisances if they're unhappy with the situation. It's all going to have CCTV. Who's funding this? It's being funded by Great British Energy. Also, it's had funding from Derbyshire County Council, over £700,000 of your council tax money spent on this, and it's all things that locals in the area do not agree with, so I'm sure they're not very happy with how their council tax is being spent. So as I said, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you'd be happy with an installation like this near you. Sorry it's not been too much of a visually grabbing video today. There's not I can't just go traipsing across people's farms to make a quick video, especially not with cows in the field and things, just so it doesn't feel on. I just thought I'd mention I'm using a new mic for today's video as well, so hopefully the cars roaring past me that I have been pausing for earlier in the video haven't made too much of an impact, and you've been able to hear me clearly. It's been a very nice day. There is a few clouds in the skies, but there has been some rainbows. I don't know if you can just make one out there in the picture. But so yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to the subscriber who bought me the mics. Thank you very much. We are truly a channel for the people, funded by the people at the moment. So that's all excellent. If if you want to donate to the channel, that's brilliant. But you know, it is just my hobby for now. But I do try and bring you the local news that matters to you. So if you like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much for watching the video. And yeah, I'll just grab a quick picture still of those cows. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.